Yep, there we go. Rear bar, or is that underneath of the car?
I'm trying to figure it out if it's on the is that a control arm?
Alrighty guys, welcome back to another video. Here we are again, getting up to some mischief in the little soccer mum bus. Now I wasn't intending on making a video, this is just a few little Instagram clips. So you'll see I've had to do some adjusting to get these portrait videos into the landscape YouTube format. But here we are, taking off on Elcon's track in Cobaw. If you know the area, it's a very rough track. However, we've taken the side track off there. I don't believe it has a name, but it's still a good bit of fun. Now this is Merrick in his 80 series Landcruiser. If you don't know much about 80 series, they're a fantastic platform, probably one of the best in the four-wheel drive world. Coil suspension, front and rear, solid axle, front and rear. Now this one's fairly new to Merrick and he's enjoying using it as it is. It's not very modified at all in terms of driveline. It's all stock standard and open front and rear diffs, and he's just put some 33s on it. Standard height suspension, and it still flexes very well, as you can see. Now we did manage to max the flex out on this little rut here, so he's just taken a little roll back and setting up for a different line so we can carry on.
That was a bit easy, mate.
Like that first bit of flex, I mean you could ride it earlier. That kind of got a bit chewy.
Yeah.
But then this crossover was...
Yeah. I think getting onto that wall, I'll have to rely on traction control. I think it'll be alright, we'll see.
But I think this crossover is going to be the most spicy bit for you, and that's like...
Which the first, going left or going right?
Coming across here, where I stopped for a sec.
Yeah, I reckon.
I mean, maybe you put better wheel placement actually. I dropped in a bit more than I probably needed to.
Alrighty guys, you'll see Merrick warming up the spotter's hands here, getting ready to give me a little bit of direction when needed. Now, if you're not too familiar with this car, this is a Subaru Forester S Edition. It's basically an up-spec'd XT. It's from factory, got a larger turbo VF52, a 5-speed automatic, which is instead of the 4-speed automatic found in the SH Forester with the other automatic models, which it also has a VTD sensitive, so it's a rear-wheel biased all-wheel drive setup. It still has clutch packs to lock it 50-50 when you need it, and it is open front and rear differential, so it relies heavily on traction control. Merrick's just keeping me lined up so I don't slide into the ruts. It's nothing too serious. However, if you take the wrong line, you can slide in and get some unwanted panel damage. You would have seen I got a little bit of spotting from Merrick, so very thankful for that. However, I didn't quite listen to what he was saying, and I went straight into this rock here instead of either side of it. Now, Merrick went around it to the left-hand side with his bigger 33s, no dramas. I hit it dead on, but I didn't want to give up, so I put my foot down and held it down, allowed traction control to figure it out. And we got over it, no dramas. Now, I thought I'd give the back wheel a couple of bumps to try and make it over, but it didn't go as planned. Now, if you take note of the rock, it's above my sill, almost at the bottom of my rear door, which is about 450 mil. So it's a pretty big rock for these little 29-inch tyres to clamber over. So it didn't really work out too well. I had to back up and give it another go.
Just give it a little bump just to taste it, see how it looks. Where do you want to end up though?
I'll probably go park and then
like drop down?
And then down and then go left, yeah.
Alright.
This slight line variation made all the difference, a lot more gentle on the vehicle. I probably should have done that from the start, but sometimes when you're in a rut and you make it over the first section of it, you just want to commit to it and get through it. Well, at least I do, but probably a bit stubborn sometimes. Anyway, on to the next section.
Freaking traction control every day of the week.
Yeah, buddy.
That is impressive. That go over that when you hit that front tire and rock, I'm like, oh man, fucking balls.
I saw you there. I don't want to feel it.
But you just fucking kept grabbing it. I was like, what the fuck? Why is it still moving up? Because it's like you haven't seen the wheel speed. I think I'm not used to it. That was sick, man. That's good.
That's of us.
This is the next section. You can see from the top here, the rock steps are quite sizable and quite steep. From the side, it really flattens it all out. However, we have both completed this before, so we have a rough idea of how to tackle it. But this time, it's a little bit different. There's always changes, rocks getting moved around, ruts getting dug out deeper. But let's get into it. I reckon you're not squared up to it enough. I reckon you want to come this way a bit more. Yep. Just a little bit. Yep. And now if you go right hand down a bit and then go. I think if you crawl that you'd be alright, but that's the square, you're squared up now. Yep, there we go. Now, even though that took a couple of goes with no lockers front or rear, you do have to still pick the right line. However, once that line was dialed in, the Cruiser just walked up that no dramas.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah. You hit the front again. No, that's keep coming forward. You might hit it again though. Yeah.
Okay, now it's time for the Foz to have a go. Getting it lined up here. I've done this once before and I managed to climb up successfully, so I knew roughly where I wanted to be to try and replicate how I climbed it last time. However, a few things had changed, a few rocks had moved around, and some of the ruts in front of these rock faces had been dug out a bit more, so I was trying to get where I wanted to be. Now at this point I got out of the vehicle, had a little look around to see how the car was positioned, and proceeded to tell Merrick that I would give it another go of lining it up before I had another crack at the hill. So at this point Merrick wasn't expecting me to climb the hill, and I wasn't either. However, once I started getting towards the rock face, it started to climb a little bit and I thought I'd just hang on to it and see what happened. Well, that was a little bit spicy, and it sounded like something went bang, but let's check it out.
Rear bar, or is that underneath of the car?
I'm trying to figure it out if it's on the is that a control arm?
I think it's my rear exhaust and...
Nice. Alright. Do you want to winch it?
Yeah, I'm on my exhaust and stuff here. So, I think it's not too bad. I'll just winch it and we'll be right. A little bit of scrapage of the wheel. Oh.
After a quick inspection, everything seemingly looked alright, except for the method race wheel. It got a big chunk taken out of the edge of the rim. That was probably that loud clunk we heard when I rolled backwards.
They're not going anywhere, we can take our time now. I don't think it's too bad. I think it's just that exhaust is...
Oh no, you like, if that rock stayed in place, you would have had that traction and it wouldn't have dropped. Like, the fact that it spat it out kind of fucked you.
Yeah. I shouldn't have gone for it. I should have relined like I was expecting to. I was like, it's kind of feel like the front, so I'm send it.
Well, look, I think it was going. It was fucking terrifying. But like, it spat the rock and then you were just like, it dropped in and just fucking lost it. Yeah. So like, you're going like that and then it went boom and kicked it and you dropped it. And the whole thing changed it all.
I needed to go in one smooth motion like last time.
Yeah.
Anyway, look at the angle of this off right now. Buddy.
So here we are getting a couple of obligatory shots for the gram.
So gave this same climb that I did last time a little go and got hooked up. That's pretty stuck up on that rear exhaust right there, poor exhaust. But I've got a winch now, so I'm just going to winch forward and go from there.
With this big rock jammed under the rear bumper and exhaust, the car was also in park with the handbrake on. It wasn't going to go anywhere, so whenever you're in this situation, if the car's safe, I always recommend to get out and take a couple of photos. It's always good for memories and gives you a chance to suss things out, and you can take your time. You don't have to sort it out in a rush. Take your time, get it ready to recover.
Oh, I love this. I'm just happy I didn't break my car. Well, I don't think I did.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I think it's alright. So I've done this climb before, but I got hooked up this time, so I'm going to winch out, get this car in position to winch, and here we go. Yeah, Merrick? I reckon go forward a little bit so you over the rock there. Do you want to just hold a bit of tension on that line while I pull it in?
Yeah, I'm just going to chuck some rocks over the back of this.
Oh, yeah. You got it in gear?
Yeah.
So yeah, just pull a little bit of tension on that. And then once that's good, I'll let you get out of the way, and then maybe you can film from over there or something. Thank you.
Winch in. Yep.
Now, as the winch starts to pull tension on this vehicle, you'll see the rock fall away from under the exhaust and rear bumper. And as I pull forward, I kick up one of the smaller rocks into the face of my wheel. So this poor method race wheel got a good hammering this session. Took a big chunk out of it and scratched the surface. Now, I could have stopped winching at this point, however, I decided to carry on and continue winching over a few more little rocks and try out the winch a bit more. I've only installed this pretty recently, so it's still a bit of fun for me to play around with, and it's always good to put your rope back onto the drum under tension so it's ready to go next time you need to use it. If you wanted to check out the installation of this, I did a video on it just recently, so you can check that out on my channel if you'd like to. Alrighty, that's pretty much it for what we filmed this time, but this is a bit of bonus footage from a separate trip to this same track. This is actually the section just before the rock climb, and there's plenty of extra little bits of footage we could throw in on this track. We just weren't expecting to make a YouTube video, so we only filmed a few sections. However, the Foz is killing it here, so I thought I'd throw it in. Here we are with another bonus clip. This is actually from a couple of years ago. This is the same rock climb, the first time we were ever here. Well, the first time I was ever there. And I almost made it. You see there, I bounced up and got up onto the face of the rock, but I backed off and rolled back down the hill. And once I was in this position with the rear wheels trying to climb up the initial little rock face, it was too much for the traction control. So I backed down, gave it another couple of goes. Unfortunately, wasn't successful on this visit. And we had a few people there, so I didn't want to hold people up, kept trying, so I went around the chicken track on this first attempt. Here we are with one more bonus clip of the Foz having another go at this same little rock face. Now, this was a successful attempt, so I lined myself up, got ready to go, and it was a bit of a one and done sort of situation. So have a look at this one.
Right on it, so your tyres, yeah, so now it can come straight, your back tyre's sitting on it, so it probably stops there.
We finally had some success in the Foz at this little run, so very chuffed to finally make it up. The Foz put in work, the traction control absolutely nailed it. You'll see I actually started from a complete standstill once the first tyre hit the face of the rock, then the Foz nailed it from there. Now, just for fun, this is the last bonus clip I'll put in. This is Merrick in his previous vehicle, quite modified. This one's got front locker, lift, all sorts of things going on, larger tyres, that sort of thing. And you'll see it doesn't even hesitate to climb up this rock section. It just goes straight up, crawls it, no worries. With the automatic and the locker, it's a beast. That is this video wrapped up, done and dusted. Thank you very much for watching. If you're still here and you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. That helps the algorithm and it will help the video reach more people. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more of it, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. And here's a few little bonus pictures. Thanks for checking it out, guys. Cheers.